Hi, this is Alfawzia Nihar from At Home Tuition. Welcome to our session today. The topic that we are going to discuss today is law of cosine. It is also called as cosine law. First, let me write the cosine law on the board. Do you see the formula? All these A, B, C are small and this one is capital. Whatever alphabet you write within this parenthesis after cos would be capital and all these would be small. Okay, this formula just looks like a formula that we already familiar with, a minus b the whole square, or you can compare this law with Pythagoras theorem for your easy remembering. Okay, now let me take one example and explain you how to apply this formula. Before starting with an example, I'd like to say when to use this law of cosine. The law of cosines is useful for finding the third side of a triangle when we know just two sides and the angle between them. Please note that the angle should be in between the two sides. So when your given information says two sides and angle, and when you're asked to find the third side of a triangle, you can use this law of cosine. And one more thing, you can use this law of cosine to find the angles of a triangle when all the three sides are given. When you just have all the three sides of a triangle and you're supposed to find the angles, you can use this law of cosine. It will be very easier to solve this. Okay, now let me write the question on the board. Here is an example. We are supposed to find angle C and a triangle ABC is given. Three sides of a triangle is given. We are supposed to find an angle. Hope you remember the statement that I have said you just before. When you're asked to find the angles of a triangle, when we know all the three sides, you can use the law of cosine. So this comes under the second type. And the side of the length 8 is opposite to angle C. Am I right? So it is the side C. I'm using small alphabets for the sides, for mentioning the sides, and capital for mentioning the angles. Okay. 5 is opposite to B, so I'm going to name it as small b. 9 is opposite to A, so I'm going to name it as small a. Now let us put what we know into the law of cosines. This is the formula, the law of cosine. Now let us put in A, B and C. Replace C by 8, A by 9 and B by 5. Now work out the exponents. 8 square is 64, 9 square is 81, 5 square is 25 and 2 times 9 times 5 would be 90. Now we need to use our algebra skills to rearrange and solve. Generally, we used to combine the like terms. On the right hand side we have 81 plus 25, that is 106. Subtract 106 from both these sides. Now let us divide both these sides by negative 90 so that we can isolate cos C on one side of the equation. Now we have to apply the rule of signs. Negative divided by negative will give you a positive answer. Let me just swap the sides. We need the value of C only, so we can get rid of cos. How can we get rid of cos? Just by taking cos inverse on both these sides. Cos inverse of cos will get vanished. Here is where you can use scientific calculator. Cos inverse of 42 over 90 will give you 62.2 degrees. I have rounded the answer to one decimal place. Therefore, the unknown angle C is 62.2 degrees. Hope you are clear with this example. This is how we apply the law of cosine when three sides of a triangle is given and if you are asked to find the angle C. Same way you can also find the other two angles. You just have to change the formula slightly. Let me write the easier version for angles on the board. You can just note down all these three because in a triangle we'll be just having three sides. So I have just used three formulas for you for your quick reference. Okay. Let me take one example and explain you how to use this easier version for angles directly. Okay, let me draw the figure. In this triangle we know the three sides. A equal to 8 because this is the side opposite to A. So this would be small a. A equal to 8 and B equal to 6 and C equal to 7. Let us use the law of cosines, that is the angle version, to find the angle C. I'm going to write the formula on the board. Plug in all the given values in the formula. Just replace all A by 8, B by 6 and C by 7. Now let us use the algebraic method and simplify to get the value of C. In case if you are using a scientific calculator, you can directly plug in these values and get the answer. In case if you are not using a scientific calculator directly for all these steps, you can just expand the exponents and simplify it as much as possible. I'm getting 51 in the top row and 96 in the bottom row. Then you can use a scientific calculator. It depends upon the direction given. So the C value would be, the angle is 57.9 degrees. I have rounded the answer to 1 decimal place. Hope you're clear with this example. So far we were discussing examples of first method, that is when three sides are given, we were finding the angle. Now let me take one more example where two of the sides given and one of the angle in between them are given, and I'll be finding the third side. Okay, let me write the question on the board. Here is the next example. Two sides are given, 13 and 9, and angle in between them are given, 42. We are supposed to find the value of x. Okay, law of cosines, here we come. In this case, we will say b equal to 9 and c equal to 13. Am I right? And this will leave x is equal to a, because that is the side opposite to a. And angle a is 42 degrees. So these are the given information. Now let us use law of cosine. Since a value is given, I am going to use the law for a square on the left hand side. Depending upon the angle given, you can write the formula appropriate to that. If a is given, you have to use cos a formula. In case if b or c is given, you have to write the formula as per the given information. Now let me substitute in our values and solve. In the place of a we have x, in the place of b we have 9, and c could be replaced by 13. Cos a is given, so you can also replace this by 42 and solve for x. Expand 9 square, 13 square and multiply 2 times 9 times 13. Find the value for cos 42 degrees. I'm getting 76.1 on the right hand side. We do not know the accurate value as we are rounding off the answer. I'm just writing the approximate notation here. Now we need to find the value of x. So I'm taking square root on both these sides. So the x value, the unknown side, is 8.7. That's it for this example. Hope you're clear with this example. I would like to explain you one example where the question is directly given and you're asked to find all the angles. In that problem, I'll show you how to use law of cosine, and I'm going to introduce law of sine, the topic that we are gonna discuss in our next video. And I'll show how to find the third side. Okay, let me take an example on the board. Please read the question once. A triangle has side lengths of 10, 11 and 12. Find all the angles. First, we should assign an angle to each side. A, B, C will be the angles opposite. So the sides in increasing order. Okay, let me draw and show you. I'm just writing sides in increasing order. Okay, we will find A first. For A, the law of cosine formula would be, to minimize confusion, I'm going to write the formula that I gave you for using directly, the angle version. So the formula would be, here is the formula. Now we are ready to plug in our sides. Replace B by 11, C by 12 and A by 10. I'm using calculator to find the values. I'm getting A is approximately equal to 51.3 degrees. You can use law of cosine for B and law of cosine for C, but that is usual. Now please notice that we have an angle side ratio, so I'll make use of the law of sine for the rest. Okay, now let me write the sine law. Sine law is very easy to remember. Sine of the angle by side, sine of angle by side, sine of angle by side. Okay, now we can calculate the value of A. We want to calculate, we have just calculated A, no? So we want to calculate B. So I'm going to take this set. You have to choose the formula based on the given information and the answers that you have got previously. Since I have A, I'm using this pair. In case if I have A, I'll be using this pair. Okay, now plug in A, AB. Angle A is 51.3, A is 10 and B is 11. Cross multiply and rearrange. Multiply both the sides by 11 and take sine inverse. Take sine inverse and swap the sides. Calculate the angle B. I'm getting B approximately equal to 59.1 degrees. You can also use law of cosine to find angle B. but I just wanted to introduce the sine formula. So I'm using this. Sine formula can be used when we have an angle side ratio. Okay, since the angle and side ratio is solved here, I'm using law of sines for the rest. Okay, we have solved B. Now let us solve for C. Oh, what we usually do when we have two of the angles and we need to find the third angle, we use the concept sum of the three angles in a triangle add up to give 180 degrees. That would be the straightforward and easier method. So I'm going to use that method to find angle C instead law of cosine. But you'll be getting the same answer even if you use law of cosine. This is the very well known fact. Plug in A value and B value here. A is 51.3 and C is 59.1. Now proceed with algebraic steps. Add the like terms and subtract the same from both these sides. So by doing so, I'll get the last angle C. C is nothing but 69.6 degrees. Are you getting the same value? I am rounding all the values to one decimal point. In case if the direction given in the question asks you to round more than that, you have to read the question twice before starting the solution and proceed as per the directions given. That means the angles of the triangle for this problem are 51.3 degrees and 59.1 degrees and 69.6 degrees. That's it for this example. So you can use law of cosines in two of the conditions. When two sides are given and an angle in between it is given. Okay, and the second type is when all the three sides are given. In case if you are asked to find the angles, you can use law of cosines to find all the three angles. In case if the condition is satisfied, you can also use law of sines, and obviously third angle would be easier to find if you use the concept sum of the three angles is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, hope you're clear with these examples on the concept. See you in the next video. Have a great time ahead.